There was a time when a journey started long before the taxi arrived. It started at the kitchen table, passport out, tickets checked, purse nearby, medicine in its little bag, a coat over the chair, maybe sandwiches wrapped like they were being sent across the Atlantic, even though the trip was only from Manchester to Bournemouth. Before anyone reached the front door, someone did the inspection. You know the voice. Have you got your passport? Then again, 2 minutes later. Are you sure? By the third time, the passport had become the most supervised object in Britain. It was fussy, of course it was, but it saved people from standing at a station, an airport, or a ferry terminal with that awful cold feeling in the stomach. In 2026, that habit is useful again. Airports have become places where one small assumption can spoil the start of a journey. One airport lets you keep liquids inside the bag, another still works closer to the old rules. Medicine may be fine, but only if you can show what it is. Special assistance is free for people who need it, but too many older travelers either never ask or ask properly and still end up looking around for help that was meant to be waiting. I do not think that is a small inconvenience. An airport can make a perfectly capable person feel rushed, watched, and somehow in the way. I hate that. It is bad design dressed up as procedure. If you are new here, I'm Paulo. On this channel, we usually talk about UK pensioners, retirement money, household habits, DWP, HMRC, savings, bills, and the cost of living. But underneath all that, we are usually talking about the same thing. How does an ordinary older person keep control when the rules keep moving? Most weeks that means pension letters, energy bills, tax codes, or benefit forms. But today it means airports, because travel is not always a beach holiday with a smiling couple and a suitcase that rolls perfectly across polished floors. Sometimes it is visiting family, sometimes it is going to see grandchildren, sometimes it is a funeral, and people do not say that loudly, but plenty of journeys happen for exactly that reason. Sometimes it is just the trip someone promised themselves they would take while they still felt able. So this is not a Travel Channel video where someone tells you the airport was a breeze while holding an overpriced coffee. This is about leaving the house with fewer surprises waiting for you at security. The old habit was simple. Check before you go. In 2026, that means checking the things that can catch you out before a stranger in a security lane is holding your belongings in a tray. The first one has already cost people expensive toiletries, medical delays, and a mood that no airport sandwich is going to repair: liquids. The liquid rule in the UK has become one of those rules that sounds easy until you try explaining it across a kitchen table. For years, everyone knew the little performance. Small bottles, clear plastic bag, pull it out at security. Stand there while your shampoo is treated with the suspicion normally reserved for international criminals. Now the rule has changed at some airports. Useful, yes, but not neat. Heathrow says passengers can take liquids through security in containers up to 2 liters at terminals 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they can stay inside the cabin bag. Gatwick has moved in the same direction, though metal and double-walled bottles still need to be empty. Edinburgh also allows larger liquid containers through security, and Birmingham says liquids, pastes, and gels can go in hand luggage up to 2 liters. Then Manchester reminds everyone why airport rules should never be guessed. Manchester still says liquids, gels, and aerosols in hand luggage must be under 100 milliliters each. They can stay inside the bag now, and the old plastic bag routine has changed, but the size limit is still there unless the item falls under an exemption, such as essential medical use. So picture the mistake. Someone flies out from Heathrow with a large bottle of sun cream in the cabin bag. No drama. They come home through an airport using different rules, or connect somewhere still working closer to the old limit, and suddenly the same bottle is being marched towards the security bin. That traveler has not done anything stupid. The rules are patchy. Patchy rules are hard on people who expect the system to make sense. Airports have a special talent for looking official while quietly doing things differently from one another. So the old habit comes back. Before you leave the house, look up the airport you're flying from. Then look up the airport you're coming back through. Not just the airline, the airport itself. If you're unsure, pack the old way. Keep hand luggage liquids in 100 milliliter containers and put larger toiletries in checked luggage if you have it. Yes, it feels old-fashioned. Fine. Old-fashioned can be the reason your moisturizer reaches Spain. And if you have expensive toiletries, contact lens solution, creams, or anything you would be properly annoyed to lose. Do not let the security lane make the decision for you. The security bin does not care what it costs. The next thing is medicine. Toiletries are annoying to lose. Medicine is different. If security takes away an expensive shampoo, the journey begins badly. If medicine is delayed, packed in the wrong bag, questioned without proof, or left somewhere you cannot reach it, the problem becomes serious very quickly. Gov.uk says essential medicines over 100 millilitres can be allowed in hand luggage, but you may need proof. That proof can be a prescription or a letter from a doctor. That little detail matters. A lot of people no longer have the old paper prescription sitting in a drawer. Prescriptions are often electronic. The pharmacy label may be on the box. The proof may be on a phone, which is fine until the battery is low, the screen is too dim, or the airport Wi-Fi decides to behave like it has retired early. So I would do this the plain way. Keep medicine in its original packaging where possible. Keep the pharmacy label if it has your name and the medicine on it. If you carry liquid medicine over 100 milliliters, ask your GP surgery or pharmacist what proof is sensible before you travel. If a doctor's letter is needed, get it before the week of the flight because nobody needs a medical admin chase while also trying to find the suitcase scales. Essential medicine belongs in hand luggage. I know that sounds obvious. But obvious things are exactly the ones that get missed when someone is tired, the taxi is early, and one person in the house is saying, "We need to go now," as if the aircraft is parked outside, waiting personally for them. Think about the awkward items too. Inhalers, needles, cooling packs, medical equipment, controlled drugs, anything that may look unusual to a security officer who sees hundreds of bags a day and has no emotional attachment to yours. That does not mean panic. It means having the answer ready before anyone asks. I'm carrying essential medication. Here is the prescription. That sentence is much easier when the paper is already in your hand. The old travel habit was never only about the passport. It was about keeping the important things reachable. Passport, money, medicine, still a decent order. Part 4. Now we need to talk about special assistance, and I know some people do not like the phrase. It can make a person feel as if they are admitting something they would rather keep private. A lot of older travelers say, "I'll manage," and they do manage in the way older people often manage. They walk slower than they want to. They lean on the suitcase handle for a moment and pretend they are just checking the label. They say the distance to the gate is fine, even when it plainly is not. Then the gate changes, the queue stretches, the lift is out, or boarding starts while they are still catching their breath. That is not independence, that is endurance. The Civil Aviation Authority says disabled passengers and passengers with reduced mobility have the right to free assistance when travelling by air from a UK airport. That can mean help through the airport, help getting to the gate, or help boarding the aircraft. And it is not only for wheelchair users. It can apply to people with reduced mobility, hidden disabilities, dementia, autism, serious health conditions, sight or hearing difficulties, or any condition that makes the airport harder to manage. You do not need to perform suffering to deserve help. Ask early. Ideally, request assistance when you book the flight. Many airlines and airports ask for at least 48 hours notice, but earlier is better. And be specific. If the long walk is the problem, say that. If stairs are the problem, say that. If crowd signs or boarding make the journey harder, say it plainly. A vague request can turn into vague help, and I do not like that, but it happens. There is no shame in this. You paid for the journey. You are not asking for a favor from the royal household. You are asking for support the system says exists. If a family member is helping with the booking, sit beside the person traveling and ask what part of the airport worries them most. Often it is not the flight, it is being rushed in public, it is holding people up, it is needing help and feeling watched while needing it. That is the bit people who design these systems often forget. There is one awkward bit I do not want to skip. Booking assistance does not always mean assistance appears neatly at the right moment, wearing a smile and carrying a clipboard. I wish it did. Some travelers have excellent experiences. Kind staff, smooth boarding, proper help from check-in to the aircraft. Others book assistance and still end up waiting, or searching, or asking 3 different people who all point in slightly different directions, which is a very airport way of saying nobody knows. So the kitchen table habit needs one extra step now. Keep proof, print the confirmation if you like paper, save the email, take a screenshot, write down the airline number and the airport assistance point. If someone else booked it for you, ask them to show you where the confirmation is. Not in theory. Actually show you. Because when you are standing in a busy terminal, my daughter sorted it, may not be enough to get a tired person to the right desk. Arrive earlier than you think you need to, especially if walking is difficult or the airport is unfamiliar. Nobody enjoys sitting around in departures watching a sandwich cost more than a small household appliance, but rushing is where mistakes happen. If assistance does not appear, ask airport staff early, not at the point of panic. Early. And if the help fails badly, complain afterwards through the airline or airport process. The CAA also explains how passengers can report problems with assisted travel. Yes, it is paperwork. There is always paperwork. Britain has never met a problem it could not turn into a form. But complaints matter because failed assistance is not just poor service. For some older travelers, it can decide whether they ever dare to fly again. Seating is worth checking too. If you need to sit beside a companion because of disability or medical need, ask the airline before the journey. Do not assume the booking system will understand the situation by magic. Airports are not built for quiet assumptions. They are built for people who ask before the problem starts. That is not being difficult. That is traveling with a little self-defense. The last part is the return journey. This is where people get caught because most of us plan the way out much better than the way back. Before leaving home, people check the taxi, the passport, the tickets and the bag. Coming home, they are tired. The hotel room looks like a small storm has passed through it. Someone is trying to remember where the charger went. Medicine has moved from one pocket to another. The airport rules feel like something to worry about later. Later is not a plan, so before you travel, check the airport you are coming back through as well. That bottle bought abroad may not pass security on the return. Assistance booked for the outward journey may not automatically be sorted for the way home. Medicine proof can end up buried in a case if nobody thinks about it until the last morning, and then there is passport control. Many British citizens can use ePassport gates if they have a biometric passport and meet the rules. For some people, the gates are quick and simple. For others, they are not. If the machine rejects the passport, if the screen is confusing, if the queue is moving too fast, or if you simply prefer a staffed desk, that does not make you foolish. It makes you a human being dealing with a machine in a bright room after a flight. There is a difference. So here is the updated version of the old travel habit. Before the journey, make one small airport note. Write the airport going out and the airport coming back. Add the awkward little fact, people forget. The rules may not match. Put the medicine proof with the medicine, not in some heroic folder nobody can find. Make sure assistance is confirmed both ways, not just on the first flight. Keep the passport, insurance details, and emergency number somewhere sensible. Nothing fancy. No color-coded folder unless you enjoy that sort of thing, and some people do. Good for them. I admire the commitment. For everyone else, one envelope is enough. The point is not to make travel perfect. Airports will still be airports. Someone will still stand in the middle of the walkway with a suitcase sideways, having a private argument with a boarding pass. The point is to give the airport fewer chances to catch you out. That old question still works. Have you got your passport? In 2026, it just needs a few extra things beside it. The airport rules, the medicine proof, the assistance confirmation, and yes, the way back home too, because that is where people often get caught. That is the real habit. Preparation, without turning the kitchen table into air traffic control. If this video helped, consider subscribing. On this channel, we take old British habits and update them for the world. UK pensioners are living in now. Before you go, tell me something practical. Which part of flying makes you tense now? Maybe it is security, maybe it is medication, maybe it is the walking, the assistance, passport control, or just that awful feeling that everyone behind you is in a hurry. Write it in the comments. And tell me which UK airport you use most often. Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Bristol, Belfast, Cardiff, wherever you travel from. Your comments help shape the next videos because official rules tell us one thing. Real travelers tell us what those rules feel like when you are standing there with a bag, a passport, and a gate number that has just changed. Until next time, take care of yourself, check before you leave, and do not let the airport decide your day before the journey has even started.